Good afternoon. Today I am presenting my human dimension study findings on the Virginia big-eared bat and proposing a management intervention specifically for leadership within the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. My goal is to demonstrate how we can strengthen long-term conservation of this endangered species using an approach that aligns with stakeholder values and existing governance structures. Why the Virginia big-eared bat deserves continued attention. The Virginia big-eared bat has been federally endangered since 1979 and has an estimated population of about 20,000 individuals. While numbers are trending upward, the species remains highly vulnerable due to its low reproductive rate, cave dependence, and sensitivity to disturbance. These bats rely on limestone caves year-round for roosting and hibernation, and even minor disturbances during maternity or hibernation periods can negatively impact colony survival. Beyond legal obligations under the Endangered Species Act, the species provides important ecosystem services by consuming large numbers of moths and beetles, acting as natural pest control for agricultural communities in West Virginia. So what is the core management challenge? Current management efforts, including cave gating, seasonal closures, monitoring, and habitat acquisition, have helped stabilize populations. This collaborative model between agencies, NGOs, and landowners has been effective at protecting roost sites. However, a key gap remains. Our management strategies primarily focus on protecting caves, but these bats depend just as much on surrounding foraging habitat to meet their energy needs and successfully reproduce. In simple terms, we are protecting where they sleep, but not fully protecting where they survive. Long-term population viability requires attention to the broader landscape, not just the cave entrance itself. What stakeholders believe. To better understand how feasible expanded protection might be, I conducted a human dimension survey examining wildlife value orientations and conservation attitudes. 70% of the respondents agreed or strongly agreed that caves and bats possess meaningful existence value, with only 6.7% disagreeing. Importantly, this support was consistent across energy representatives, agency professionals, and local stakeholders. Research shows that when stakeholders recognize intrinsic value in wildlife, they are more likely to support protective policies and funding initiatives. This suggests that there is already a strong attitude and foundation for proactive conservation, meaning expansion efforts are likely to face widespread opposition. Proposed intervention. Based on ecological needs and stakeholder support, I recommend implementing landscape-scale conservation easements and buffer protections around critical maternity and hibernation caves. This would include voluntary conservation easements on private lands near important roosts, protection of surrounding foraging forests, and light and noise buffer guidelines by nearby infrastructure development. This approach shifts management from reactive mitigation to proactive avoidance. Rather than responding to habitat degradation after it occurs, we would secure the broader landscape necessary for long-term survival. Because easements are incentive-based and voluntary, they align with West Virginia's collaborative conservation model and respect private land ownership while strengthening species protection. So why is this the best path forward? There are ongoing tensions between development pressures, rural land use, and endangered species protection. However, conservation easements and buffer strategies offer flexibility and partnership rather than strict regulatory expansion. This intervention builds on the strong stakeholder support identified in my study, complements existing ESA protections, and reducing long-term conflict by preventing habitat loss before it becomes a crisis. By expanding protection beyond cave entrances and into surrounding landscapes, West Virginia can move from simply stabilizing the Virginia big-eared bat to securing its future for generations to come. Thank you. And here is a look at my references.